What's up, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours, brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by the esteemed Professor Joey Wright, serving nothing but W's today as we try to answer any and all of the questions that you have leading into Week 9 of the 2023 NFL Fantasy Football season. Joey, just quick temperature check. How you feeling after 8 weeks?
In this moment after what just happened to me on poll perception, not very good, Bob. Not very good at all. No, Joey. I'm feeling a little confused. I think there's been some crazy stuff that's happened this year. I think wide receiver and running back has just been not a crapshoot every week, but we've seen some names we weren't expecting. Quarterback is kind of shaked out about like I thought it would. I thought we would see some guys drafted outside of that top 12 really emerge into right inside that top 12. So it's been a fun season, though. I'm having a good time. Winning a lot of leagues, also losing leagues all over the place.
Yep, as am I. I'll go from it seems to come in clumps though. Like I'll win 12 leagues. I'll win 12 of my leagues in 1 week and then I lose 12 of my leagues in the next. Joey, if you guys have fantasy football questions for us, throw them in the chat. We'd be more than happy to answer any and everything you could throw our way. Before we get to those though, Joey, I wanted to ask you a question about one of my teams that maybe you can help me with. I'm deciding on the last flex spot in a full PPR league. Okay. I've got 3 options. I'm going to give you all the options, even though I'm leaning between 2 of them. Kareem Hunt, Roschon Johnson, Odell Beckham Jr. Who would you be starting out of those 3 in your flex spot in a full PPR league?
I would probably, so it's Kareem Hunt. Jerome Ford's, he's been practicing, so he's in.
But they do have the Arizona Cardinals, which is arguably the best matchup for running backs, is the only reason he's included here, I think.
I'm still going to go Roschon Johnson. I think he is the Bears' best back they have right now. I know Deontay Foreman's looked good the last few weeks, but it'd be Johnson for me. It's definitely not Odell Beckham. It's just not working out there. I think we might actually see Rashad Bateman kind of creep back up into some relevance.
I hope so. Ryan in here had a question for us to kick us off. Said, hey guys, my third receiver spot. Need to know Jahan Dotson, Demario Douglas, Rashid Shaheed, or Brandon Cooks. Which of those wide receivers would you be plugging in behind T. Higgins and DJ Moore, which is who he's got in his lineup?
I'm going to eat some of my own words here, and it's going to be Demario Douglas. He looks like the wide receiver 1 now in New England. We saw him get a lot of love in the preseason, and I just think it's going to happen for him just because of, next man up. So it's Demario Douglas out of this group for me.
You're buying into Demario Douglas.
Shaheed for me is just like if Carr gets the ball 50 yards down the field, okay, you'll get some points from Shaheed, but if he doesn't, you might end up with a goose egg. Dotson's just been unreliable. Brandon Cooks has a good matchup, but
it's Douglas for me as well here. I wish we could say Dotson. It was fun that he caught a touchdown, but I'm probably not plugging him in after that. Do you have any interest in any of the other receiving options there in New England right now, Joey, or is it just Demario Douglas?
I don't have any interest in like pretty much any of the options in New England. I don't mind Hunter Henry, now that I'm being a little honest, as a tight end, just because the tight end position under Bill Belichick has always been kind of good. But I just, especially running back Ramondre, like I don't want the headache. I don't know if he's going to perform 1 week. He could break out the second half of the season. Eat my words, but good luck predicting it.
Yeah, it seems like repeatedly. This was the year that we were supposed to not get screwed by the New England running backs, and it was the only year in recent history that it looks like there was clarity. Yeah. And now here we go. I feel like I said that in the offseason. Like, I know it looks clear. I drafted such little Ramondre, and I was ready to just be wrong. That was one of those ones where I was just ready to suck it up if I didn't have a top 5 Ramondre on my team. But
he was going as high as like the RB5 this offseason. That's just unreal.
Yeah, too much.
Anyone that took them, like it's a headache for them. I feel bad for those.
Would you rather have Ramondre or Najee Harris the rest of the season?
Ramondre. I'm not that far off. I mean, Najee just looks, I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh with him.
Are you buying into Jaylen Warren taking over as he's done it 7 of 8 weeks so far this year from a fantasy perspective? Do you think he continues to be the more productive fantasy option?
I think he's the more productive running back tonight. Tennessee is really good against running backs. They're not so good against pass catcher running backs. Mike Tomlin's a really smart coach. He knows that. I expect Warren to get the ball a lot more than Najee Harris does tonight, or more fantasy points, that should be.
And Najee Harris does. I tend to agree with you. I've got Jaylen Warren. Don't tell JL that I'm that I've been picking up Jaylen Warren in all of our leagues. He's on a Jaylen Warren hate tirade because of his love and affection for Najee Harris everywhere. Well, guys watching, if you have any more fantasy questions, ask them. If not, we're going to run out of here in a little bit if nobody else has anything. But we'll hang out for a little bit longer, waiting to see if you guys have anything else that you need answered. I meant to go check the waiver wire in our Dynasty League or in our
Guillotine League
to see what happened on Thursday because I was hoping Zay Flowers would sneak through, but it doesn't look like he did. It looks like somebody snagged him.
I spent all my money, so I have to wait till 7 o'clock on Thursdays to just scoop up whatever crap's left over. But I'm still alive, so and my team's pretty good.
See, I'm seeing now that I'm not seeing any comments from YouTube. 1 second, let me check this.
Oh, that might be the problem.
Yep. Okay. 1 second, guys. Everybody watching, I see all the questions on YouTube now. Instead of just the questions coming in from Twitch. So I'm going to go ahead and get that fixed and we'll answer your questions. I apologize to everyone.
In the meantime, can I put one up there? All right. So Fournette, my problem with James Cook all this offseason has been I don't think he's going to get any touches inside the 5-yard line. And I think Leonard Fournette is perfect to get the touches inside the 5-yard line for the Buffalo Bills. I think that's Leonard Fournette's role. In between the tunnies, I still like James Cook a lot as the main running back in this Bills offense. But if you're in a touchdown league or a standard league, I think Leonard Fournette's definitely a flex option.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. YouTube tried to F us from answering your questions, but we got to figure it out now. We got all these questions stacked up. So if you've been waiting for a minute, I apologize. Grim wants to know, Joe, we're going to wrap it through some of these. Do I continue rolling with TJ Hawkinson with Kirk Cousins gone, or do I move to Dalton Kincaid with Josh Allen? Don't get too cute.
Yeah.
Roll with Hawkinson.
But I think Kincaid's a flex rest of the season. I really do. I top 6 tight end for me, probably rest of the season, Dalton Kincaid. But Hawkinson's the one pass catcher there in Minnesota I am not worried about whatsoever.
Jay wants to know Tua or Lamar Jackson rest of season.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not too mad either way. I guess I'll give the nod to Lamar. Dude's playing unreal right now, but it's super close.
If you have them both play the matchups. We had it in the last show, they brought up the Dolphins have a really tough playoff schedule. So
what's up, Dave? Welcome in. And Dave had a question for us. Wanted to know half PPR tight end premium. Start Jaylen Warren tonight or David Njoku? Which way are you rolling, Joey?
Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jaylen Warren as well over Njoku. We're still waiting.
Tight end premium, though.
Half point tight end premium.
I'll still go Jaylen Warren.
I'm with you. If this was a full point tight end premium, I would. Or if I have seen Deshaun Watson play a game successfully over the past 3 weeks, I might go Njoku as well. Andrew in here wanted to know Will Levis or Zach Wilson this week. Joey, which way are you rolling here? Will Levis tonight or Zach Wilson not tonight?
There's a phrase that the CBS Fantasy Well Today crew came up with a few years ago. When in doubt, Thursday's out. I think Will Levis is a lot of fun. I want to see him do it again one more time. It's going to be Zach Wilson for me. Oh God, that feels.
They're playing the Chargers, so it's a great matchup for Zach Wilson. I'm with you. Grim wants to know Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk, Puka Nacua, or DeAndre Hopkins. Choose 2 to start full PPR. For me, Christian Kirk jumps out immediately. And I know Puka was iffy on practicing this week, right? We're still waiting to find out if he's definitely going to play or not. So it's probably Chris Godwin as my second option here, but it's real close. If Puka plays, I'll probably plug Puka in. If he doesn't, I'll go Godwin.
Yeah, so for me, it's Christian Kirk and Puka Nacua, but because you have Chris Godwin playing later in the week, you can kind of wait on that decision a little bit. If you did not have Chris Godwin, I would say play DeAndre Hopkins because we don't know if Puka's going to play.
But luckily, you got him sitting there. Garrett wants to know, I have Eckler, Hall, Taylor, Achane, A.J. Brown, St. Brown, and Adams, but can only play 6. Should I hold or package 2 and go after your McCaffrey or Hill level player? Joey, looking at that roster, are you staying put? Or are you trying to make a trade with those assets?
If you can trade Achane and Adams and get either McCaffrey or Hill and upgrade either one of those spots, I'm doing that. That would be the combo. Taylor and St. Brown feels like too much. I mean, AJ Brown and I'm keeping AJ Brown and St. Brown on my teams, but Adams and Achane, if I can package them, I'm willing to let them go. But man, you're loaded at running back though. So go after Tyreek Hill.
Tim wants to know Jaron Hall or Kenny Pickett, QB2 in Superflex. What are you doing here, Joey?
Kenny Pickett, because the Titans can't really defend the pass.
Yeah,
I don't know what Jaron Hall is. Like, I don't at this point.
There's the Chargers and the Titans as teams that you want to start your quarterbacks against, and so I'll roll Kenny Pickett out there. Keg Car, what's up? Keg Car wants to know should I trade Jacoby Myers and Chris Godwin for Ayuk or Higgins? I'm doing it for either of those players.
Yeah, somebody just screenshotted the schedule for the San Francisco 49ers following the bye week for the 49ers this week, and Ayuk's schedule is so sexy. Higgins has been my buy low player the last 3 weeks. Like, Joe Burrow's right. T. Higgins is going to be great rest of the season, but I would take either. Yeah.
I prefer Ayuk, but those are both great trades.
I would trade Amari Cooper and I'd rather have Chris Godwin than Amari Cooper rest of the season. That Browns passing game is just confusing me week by week. And I know Chris Godwin's going to get the ball every week for Tampa Bay.
Oh, gotcha. So you would trade Amari Cooper instead of Godwin. I think I'd hold on to Cooper. I like it the way it's shaped right there.
Okay.
But I understand that. Bryson here says, what up, fellas? Deontay or Amari Cooper at flex? So, Joey, which way are you rolling this week? The Browns. Who the Browns got? The Browns got the Cardinals. We talked about that already. Then the Steelers playing tonight against the Tennessee Titans.
Bryce, if you need 10 points, go Deontay. If you need 15 to 20, go Amari Cooper.
I'm going Deontay Johnson here. I know I just talked Amari up, but it's that Deshaun Watson arm, at least this week, that's continuing to worry me. You think Amari Cooper has more upside, though?
I think he has a lot more upside. If they choose to throw him the ball, he can do a lot more with the ball. Deontay Johnson's just a target hog. So in PPR, you're going to get 8 to 10 points from him just because he's going to catch the ball. What he does when he gets that ball is another question. But
Scampers in here says, I am late and I got Jacobs. Congratulations on Jacobs getting added to your team, Mr. Scampers. JL saying, LOL. Oh, yeah, definitely YouTube's fault. It could have just as easily been StreamYard's fault. So you're right, JL. I shouldn't have been so quick to throw blame just at you.
Or is it Twitch's fault pushing their comments to the top?
Oh, my God. Or is it Elon Musk's fault for buying Twitter? And this all stems back to that. Or Dave has the real answer. It's Jay's fault.
That's where we should have been all along.
Bryce wants to know, do y'all think David Montgomery will still have value?
Yeah, Dan Campbell seems committed to a 2 running back system here. We even saw Craig Reynolds getting enough play in the game to be fantasy relevant last week. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get more looks than he did before. How can he not after the last 2 weeks? David Montgomery is definitely still going to be an option once he returns to the Lions. This Lions team's going to the Super Bowl, guys. So,
also, one second. I saw a question in here about Christian Kirk earlier. We missed something stupid. Christian Kirk's on bye in week 9. The teams on bye in week 9 are the Broncos, the Lions, the Jaguars, and the 49ers. Our bad, guys.
Look at us in our audience, to be honest with us.
In general, start Christian Kirk. Because he's good for fantasy. Tiptoe Tooth 92 said, I just got offered Adam Thielen and Tony Pollard for Eckler in a PPR league. Do I accept? Keep Eckler? Is that what you're saying, Joey?
Yeah, Eckler's my number 1 fantasy player rest of the season. I think he'll outscore all the other positional players rest of the season.
Eric wants to know, would you drop a DST like the Eagles or 49ers or bench them with a roster spot to continue streaming defenses? So, if you've been rolling with the top defense, do you hold on to them during their bye week or do you drop them?
What's your record, Eric? I mean, we're reaching the point where you can kind of cut bait with these players you're waiting to pan out. If they're like John Mechie, for instance, he just doesn't look like he's going to be part of this Houston offense this season. So cut bait with somebody like him and then grab that second DST to keep a elite DST like the Eagles or the 49ers. I'm fine with doing that. If you're stuck and you need to kind of use your roster spots for actual position players, I'm going to have to drop one of those DSTs.
I look at the points. Go look at the DST rankings for this season and see if you actually do have an elite defense, because I haven't been keeping up with it too well on the DST side this year, but I think the Cowboys are the top scoring defense, but it's not a massive margin. The only time I'm really holding a defense through their bye is if I look at the playoff schedule and it is sexy, or if it's like that year that the New England Patriots defense was like a top 100 fantasy player. I don't think we have any defenses doing that this year. So I'm good, cutting bait pretty much with almost all of the defenses at this point in the season. But man, it's tough. With Darius down here with a question said, hello, hope all is well. 10-team dynasty lost Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields is out this week. Which one should get the start, Mac Jones or Taylor Heineke? Joey, what are you doing here?
I want to see what Heineke can do with these weapons. I know Arthur Smith's still going to be involved there, but I think he's better than Ritter. We'll see if that's true.
I'll go Mac Jones.
Okay.
The Patriots offense seemed to be clicking a little bit more recently, and the Commanders just sold their entire defense. So maybe it'll be a good game for them. That pass rush should be worse for the Commanders going into this week. Andrew said, flex, no PPR at all. You barbarian. Hawkinson or Royce Freeman? I'm going Hawk.
Hawkinson. Yeah.
Hawk for me as well. David wants to know full PPR, Gibbs or Pollard rest of the season. Pollard for me.
Oh, rest of the season. I was going to say, you're not going to get me again. Gibbs is out this week. It's Pollard. It's closer than I want to give it.
So Eric in here said, I'm 7-1 currently, so can't complain. I have the Eagles, but hate their strength of schedule. Someone also dropped the 49ers. Yeah, I've got no problem dropping the Eagles. And their defense hasn't been worth holding on to so far this season from a fantasy perspective. It's just the name at this point that makes it a little bit hard to drop. Brad's a 10-man league. He's got Purdy, Levis, Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, TJ Hawkinson, Tyler Lockett, Gus Edwards with Jay Jetta just for good measure. 4-4. Does he trust the process or accept this trade of A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Rashad White for Tony Pollard and Tyler Lockett?
In a 10-team league, you're giving up honestly, two. I'm guessing that's Marquise Brown, or is that AJ
that's got to be Marquise Brown, right?
Okay. In that case, yeah, Pollard and Lockett are the two best players in this trade. And in a 10-man league, I want to consolidate as much as possible. I'm sticking with what I have.
Yeah, just a heads up to everyone watching, especially with names like Brown, where there's like a bunch of players with that name.
Smith.
Give us a first initial at least, so that we can make sure we're answering your question properly.
Fryermuth too. Fryermuth, we need explanation on Fryermuth, please.
Yeah, put that P or that L in front of it so we know which one you're talking about. Dankley26, how you feeling? I hope Dankley wants to know, should I trade Bijan Robinson, Chris Godwin, and Calvin Ridley for Tony Pollard and Jalen Waddle? This is hot.
This is really sexy. I'm actually sticking on the Bijan side. You would do it?
I'm doing it. I'm taking Pollard and Waddle, and I'm running. And I'm praying that Arthur Smith ruins the rest of the season for Bijan as well after that, because that's really what I'm doing is I'm trading away Arthur Smith for some safety on the other side.
Call me a fool. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope for Calvin Ridley.
Fool.
Call me a fool. Yeah, thank you.
I was just following your instructions. No, it's like the snip-snap treatment. Week 1, he made me think I was wrong for drafting Christian Kirk all offseason, and then it's been nothing but just happiness since then. If he does come back and like becomes the wide receiver 1 on this team down the stretch, Joey, I'm going to blame you fully.
Thank you.
Andrew said Luke Fryermuth appreciated that shout out. Yeah, shout out our friend Luke. Always playing second fiddle to his brother. Scampers wants to know half PPR, Chuba versus Indy or Sharby versus Baltimore.
I like Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I think it is Chuba Hubbard
more
versus
to that,
Indianapolis. Carlin here wants to know Watson or Purdy for backup quarterback. Both have been bad recently.
I like Purdy's weapons more. And Cleveland just sent away my favorite player, Donovan Peoples-Jones, to the Lions. So Watson lost a weapon. I'm gonna go Purdy. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I'm gonna go Purdy as well. And it's the unknown of the injury that Watson's dealing with, in that it's his non-throwing shoulder, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still affecting him in his play. Grim fan in here said Adam Thielen, Michael Pittman, or Chris Olave. Full PPR, choose 2. Which 2 would you be starting?
I'm going to be sitting. I like Pittman this week.
Thielen
and I like
Pittman
Olave this week. I'll sit
each
Thielen.
other.
Yeah.
Sitting Thielen?
Yeah, I'll sit Thielen.
That's
tough for you to do.
Yeah, Thielen's been so good. I think it is Adam Thielen. I still think it's Adam Thielen, but that is really close. Joe, who would be next for you? No, it can't be Adam Thielen. I think it's got to be Michael Pittman. Okay. You're benching Thielen?
Yeah, I was kind of the Adam Thielen guy. This saying like, hey, use a late round pick on Adam Thielen, the veteran.
Yeah.
The rookie's going to throw to a veteran, but yeah.
Just keep going back and forth between Thielen and Pittman, Thielen and Pittman, Thielen and Pittman. I think I'm benching Pittman and throwing Thielen in there. God, that's close though. Scammers in here wants to know PPR Jalen Warren versus the Titans or Pop Douglas versus the Washington football team. Where are you going, Joey? Is that a nickname for Demario Douglas that I'm just now learning? Okay.
Yeah. It's a me, Demario. Why it doesn't go with that, I don't know. I'm gonna go Pop Douglas. And I'll go Jalen Warren. Okay. Go Jalen Warren
here.
Because I'm so like split on it.
Andrew said
tell me something I'm
Joey.
aware of. Yeah,
Andrea stopping by on a hot streak in poll perception today. Got 2 in a row exactly right. Governor now wants to know, is it a good trade, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Najee Harris for Jacoby Myers? I would not be doing that come here now. I would hold on to Jackson Smith and Jigba and Najee Harris if I was you, especially with the big changes coming for the Raiders. You agree, Joey?
Absolutely.
What about Carlin's question? Would you start Josh Downs or Nico Collins?
So I'm going to go Nico Collins, and I want to know why you – I don't know if you were against it, but the last show we had a Nico Collins question, and you went off of him. Do you not like Nico Collins against Tampa Bay this week?
It wasn't that I don't like Nico Collins. It's that the other options were A.J. Brown, Chris Godwin. There was one other big-name player in there that made it tough. Okay. I like Nico
Josh
Collins.
Downs was in there. It was Downs and Nico Collins were the final two that we were wavering between.
And I think I would play Downs over Nico Collins right now. I've got a little bit more trust. I see Tank Dell coming on right now, and it makes me a little bit nervous about the pecking order there in Houston. But I think they're both good starts. I just slightly prefer Downs. Are you preferring Collins here?
This week I am. I love both these players, though. So, I think it's a good problem to have, Carlin.
It's close. Yeah, these are both great values that you got at wide receiver or picked up off the waiver wire. Andrea said need one. Deontay Johnson, D-Hop, Josh Downs, or Devonta Smith. What's it going to be for you, Joey?
How do I say no to Devonta Smith, but he's got the Cowboys, and the Cowboys pass defense just – oh, God. Fantasy's supposed to be fun. I'm going to have some fun tonight with DeAndre Hopkins.
Nice. I'm going to roll Devonta Smith out there.
Okay.
Even with the Cowboys D, but I get it. Andrew said same non-PPR league, Demario or Hawkinson. So Demario Douglas or TJ Hawkinson in non-PPR.
Still Hawk for me. Just run back to Devonta Smith real quick. If he does have a bad game, this is kind of getting to the end where people are allowed to make trades in your leagues. Go out and trade for Devonta Smith if he has a bad game against Cowboys, because that'll be the toughest matchup he has the rest of the season until he plays Cowboys again.
And he's good at football, if you didn't know that part. I'm going to go Hawk as well on this one, Andrew. Brad wants to know, start Higgins versus Buff, Gabe Davis versus Cincinnati, or Josh Downs versus Carolina, full PPR. It's T. Higgins for me. What about you, Joey?
Yeah, it's T. Higgins. I think he came on a little bit last week. I think he's the T. Higgins breakout for the second half of the season is in full force against Buffalo.
Because Joey's such a huge Marvel fan, if you find this helpful, hit that Loki button for us. Did you type that, Joey?
No.
You big MCU guy.
I don't even get that joke. What is it? Loki? What's that?
He's the bad guy. Or someone's gonna yell at me for saying he's the bad guy because it's way more complicated than that. Thor's brother.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, Tom
that
Hiddleston.
Guy, right? Yeah. See, I know Marvel.
Dankley said, need a QB for this week. Do I start Sam Howell, Derek Carr, or CJ Stroud? I'm leaning towards Sam, and I'm leaning towards Sam as well. But I have a feeling Joey's going somewhere else.
I'm going CJ Stroud.
He's a top 10
quarterback for me this week. Yeah. And he's playing against my Bucks. Maybe I'm just the I'm one of those guys that just hates his own team. I am actually that guy because the Bucks, nothing better than sitting in a chair and being like, come on, Tampa Bay.
As a Browns fan, I get it. I hate my team.
Yeah.
Scamper saying thanks, guys. No problem. And Eddie in here said Tank Dell, Demario, or Roshan in full PPR. I think Roshan eats this week. Could get 60%. Joey, you going Roshan? You advised me to start him.
I will sit at the table with you and Roshan and eat this week.
We're going to get it done. All right. Well, guys, that is going to be it for us today for Fantasy Football Office Hours. Thanks to everyone who stopped by and asked your questions. Make sure you subscribe to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the joyous and full of life things that we're doing here. Joey, any final words from the esteemed professor?
Yes. It has nothing to do with football. Go see The Creator. This is probably the last week it's in theaters. It's like a sci-fi movie. It's really, really good, and no one's talking about it. Everybody go see The Creator. Let's get it some box office returns. Let's keep it one more week in the theaters.
That's your homework for the week from Front Yard Fantasy Office Hours. Until next week, though, we are out of here. Good luck in your matchups. Enjoy some Thursday night football. And let's see 4 more touchdowns from Will Levis tonight.
Woo, woo, woo.